What's going on? It's the Right Hook Pod. It's Mike Ryan, my guy Sniper, and boy, oh boy, do we have a big card this weekend. Sniper, what's up with it, boy?
Ain't shit but a biscuit, kid. I've been waiting all year for this fucking card, man. All year.
International Fight Week going down at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, UFC 290. Alexander Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez, Brandon Moreno, Pantoja, and it's going to be a stacked card, man. We have somebody very special. He's about to join us in 1 second, but before we bring him in, let's do a little recap of how UFC Fight Night Strickland versus Magomedov went. Just a quick recap. I really had all the hope in the world for Magomedov. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah. So the problem is, apparently, he only has one round in him, right?
He was gassed.
After the first round, it was like, oh yeah, I can't hang with the big boys,
right?
And it made me sad. It made me sad to see. But Strickland is really, really like that, and he's been training with, the ex-champion and Alex Pereira, and right. I might have underestimated him and overestimated Magomedov a bit.
Right.
But it is what it is. Shout outs to Sean Strickland for getting that TKO victory.
Proved everything wrong there.
And he is undefeated against European fighters in the UFC.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right. So as a quick little recap, listen, I don't think we need to do an introduction, but I was told to give an introduction. He goes by, I didn't make this up, the Hebrew Hammer. Girls, probably been at your house. Fellas, if you're watching, hide your girl. You don't want your girl to watch this episode. I'm telling you, you don't want to do it because chances are she was probably already with them. Let's bring him in. The Hebrew Hammer. Jake, the Snake.
Yeah. Oh my God, man. Listen, the introduction was something, I'll tell you that.
On and on, but I don't think we have enough time. It's our good friend Jake. Thank you for coming in and blessing us with your expertise on a pretty big card. This is our pretty big episode, probably one of our biggest episodes yet. It's UFC 290, Alexander Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez. So without further ado, fellas, let's get it started. A kind of a switch up here with the main card. Bo Nickel, I believe he was fighting, who was it? Tresean Gore? Am I right?
Sir.
So Tresean Gore backs out. I don't know why. Apparently it was an injury, but was it an injury, fellas? Like, let's start there. Was it an injury?
I'll kick things off, I guess. There was a part of me that thought he was ducking, right? There was a part of me that thought he was ducking, but then I remember watching that season of The Ultimate Fighter, and he wants to fight. He doesn't care who he fights. He wants to fight. Like that dude's programmed to kill. And he's game for anybody. And I honestly feel like after further review, because initially I thought he was ducking. Right. But now that I really, really think about it, I really think he did get injured.
Okay.
And unfortunately he can't show himself against, this fucking menace.
Well, I checked the odds, and before Tresean backed out, Bo Nickel minus 1,600. You probably weren't going to make much money on him, but probably a juice for the parlay. Jay, Bo Nickel fan, how do you feel about Bo Nickel? Do you think anybody can take down Bo Nickel?
I mean, listen, Bo Nickel is the truth, right? But I mean, Gore's a dog, man.
Yeah.
He's not ducking no fights, man. I mean, I watched the guy come up. He's young. He's made some mistakes, of course. But I mean, the dude hits you, and you're dead.
Yeah.
The dude, you die. I mean, the power this dude has is insane. So, I mean, Bo Nickel, listen, we talked prior to this, of course. I thought about taking my life savings out, right? Bo Nickel. But I would probably only win like $2. So anything can happen in the UFC.
That's the scary part. I remember Amanda Nunes being minus 3,300. Somebody put money on her, and Juliana Pena won, and it's like, damn, you really thought that was a sure win, and then all of a sudden, somehow, some way, she just gets she loses. So yeah, it's tough. I don't recommend ever putting your bank account on any fighter because you really don't know. But Bo Nickel's pretty safe, I would have to say.
Yeah, I agree. So it's unfortunate though, man. Like
Yeah.
I was pumped to see these two go at it.
Right. It would have been a banger of an opening card. Like banger of an opening fight.
100%. And
Right.
I would have liked to see what Trayshawn has against the fucking wrestling of Bo Nickel, but now we get to see this new guy.
We get to see Val Woodburn 0-0 in the UFC, but I'm pretty sure Sniper off air told me he was 7-0.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's break down Bo Nickel versus Val. Oh shit! Hold on. Pause it. See? All right, here we go. So let's break down Val Woodburn versus Bo Nickel. I don't know if you have any really much notes on Val Woodburn, but what do you like from Bo Nickel when you see him in the octagon, Sniper? What is something to look out for maybe when you go to make that parlay or a solo bet?
I mean, you say there's not much on Val Woodburn, but I believe Jake had something to say about homeboy. Jake, what you gonna say?
If anyone has info on this guy,
I haven't heard much. The only thing I heard about him was he is a champion, from what I've been told, from my sources. He is a champion in another promotion. What promotion that is, I don't remember. Never heard of it before, right? But he is a champion. I think they were gonna bring him up on Tough or another UFC show or something like that, and instead they just jumped him right up. He wanted the Bo Nickel fight. He wanted any fight. So I mean, listen, you got to give the kid credit.
And you know what? Anybody who wants to actively fight Bo Nickel, put him in the ring. Put him in the ring.
Yeah.
I did get some info on Valentine Woodburn is his name. So he's been fighting in Combat Night Pro. I don't know where this is, but they look like they've been fighting a lot. He looks like he's been fighting a lot in Florida. So Combat Night is the promotion, and they've been fighting in Tallahassee, Orlando, Tallahassee. So Combat Night is the promo that he's from. Just in case anybody wants to do their own research, he is 7-0, and with that 7-0, he's got 5 knockouts, and he went to decision twice. He hasn't lost yet. But if you look at the bottom, he is 0-0 because he's his first time ever in the UFC. So like Jake said, they probably wanted to put him in Dana White Contender Series or Tough. And I mean, listen, if anyone's got the kahunas to go against Bo Nickel on their first ever fight, fuck it. Throw him right in. In my opinion. And I think that's what Dana White is, because at the end of the day, if Valentine Woodburn goes in there and gives Bo Nickel a fucking fight, then they got another fighter on their hands and it's a win-win. If Bo Nickel comes out and kills him, it's a win-win.
They did what was expected. So
yeah. So more on
fact, I feel like it's a win-win.
Right. So I know you have your notes and you do your due diligence. So what do you like about this fight in particular, I guess, with Bo?
So Bo Nickel, if you don't know who he is, Google him and you'll find out everything that you need to know about this absolute menace.
Peace.
He is. I'm pretty sure he's named Bo after Boa Constrictor, bro, because that's what he does. The dude just he shoots you, he takes you down, and he wraps himself around you, and you can't breathe. And then next thing you know, you're walking back to the locker room like, what the fuck happened?
Right.
He works so fast. Could be a downside, especially in the UFC. But you know, he's fought in the UFC once, and he eliminated the fuck is this guy's name?
So the last person that Bo Nickel fought, it was Jamie Pickett. It was Jamie Pickett, and it was
under 3 minutes.
It was first 2 minutes and 54 seconds.
Under 3 minutes, said, "I need this. Bye bye. Go home. You're beat."
Arm triangle choke, no less.
And I'm pretty sure, like, I didn't have time to really watch a lot of tape on a lot of these fights, but I do know a lot of these fighters, and I'm pretty sure in that fight he had the arm triangle for like 2 minutes. Like he locked it in like for like 2 minutes. He just didn't find the right like angle to put the right amount of pressure on him. And then when he found it, see you later. Tap, 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 revenge.
Fighter, man. You could see it. You could see it in his grappling. Especially, you know, he's patient. A lot of young guys, they rush around stuff, but he's been around the block a couple times, man. He's patient. He waits for the right opportunity. And he throws bombs.
Yeah.
I mean, stand-up is not all that bad either. You know what I mean? He throws bombs. He hurts people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
I
that
think his
Asian
first.
wrestling.
I think his first professional win was by knockout.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
it definitely goes to show.
Yeah, John Nolan back Jorge Masvidal's fighting championship, and he actually won knockout in 33 seconds in the first round. So he can
Oh,
throw
look,
it. Just to bounce off what Jake said real quick, when he's poised and he's calm, I feel like that's from wrestling when he was in college at Penn State. Like I feel like that has to definitely carry over into UFC just to kind of backpedal off what Jake said.
Yeah, 100%. And it doesn't seem like he lets the bright lights get to him. He does what he knows.
His whole life though.
Yeah, like he does what he knows, and like he doesn't get nervous. He doesn't give a fuck that he's fighting for. I mean, obviously he cares that he's fighting for the UFC, but that doesn't change his game plan at all. I feel he does what he does, and he does it very well.
Facts. All right.
Well, with that being said, this Val Woodburn guy, from my sources, right? He obviously a dude has knockout power. He has 5 knockouts out of 7 wins. But I heard his wrestling, you know what I mean, might not be all there. So, with that being said, if Bo Nickel decides to be like, I don't have anything to prove and trying to show that I can strike, I'm here to win. First round, see you later.
Well, do you think he would even accept the fight knowing Bo Nickel's wrestling abilities? Like, let's be honest, he's either stupid or he knows what he's getting himself into. Kind of goes in hand.
Or he's just a dog and wants to fight.
You know what this reminds me of? Right? This reminds me of Kevin Holland. Right? Mm-hmm. Doesn't get the call to the UFC. Right? All of a sudden, one day, Dana White calls Kevin Holland and he says, "You want to fight this guy?" That guy was Thiago Santos.
Right.
Oh, Kevin Holland comes into the UFC, first fight ever, Thiago Santos, main event. Like, it's like that same caliber. It's like you have to be a certain type of guy to accept these fights.
Yeah.
Kevin Holland's a stud.
And in the UFC, I don't think Hunter and the whole gang is going to hit up somebody who's kind of a schmuck. Like, they kind of sort of should know what they're doing, although it was last minute, so I guess it's funny to me. Why wouldn't they let Kevin Holland step in and fight this fight? Because I remember we posted on our Instagram. Why not though? Why not give Kevin Holland that fight? Is it Dana White doing what Dana White wants to do?
I feel like it's more liability issues than anything.
For the next fight, you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Because Holland is already squared away and set to fight for that other card, right?
Right.
So God forbid, he gets injured in this fight.
Right.
Now they have to go and find a replacement for Kevin Holland, and that's just work I feel like the UFC doesn't want to put too much attention in or too much stock in because it's already locked in, sealed and delivered. Why risk that? Because this guy's a fucking lunatic.
I wouldn't
be respect to him, but
be surprised if we see Bo Nickel absolutely dominate this dude in 2 minutes, and maybe 2 UFC events. He's on another card though.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that was going to be my next thing, right? It's like, how many times does Bo Nickel want to fight? At the end of the day, it's Bo Nickel's world. He fought in March of 2023 on the Jones Gone card, and now he's coming back, July. It's like, does he get in there and get it done quick so he can keep fighting, or does this guy give him a test? I guess we'll have to find out.
That's why I love the UFC, man. You never know what the fuck you're going to get.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we're just getting started. It is the Right Hook Pod. Sniper is out. I guess the Hebrew's in. We got mad stuff to cover. Coming up next right here on the Right Hook Pod. We appreciate y'all being here, watching us break down UFC 290. Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez. It's also International Fight Week, so we have a lot to get to. This next fight on the card, it's going to be a banger. It is our guys, Jalen Turner, Dan Hooker, in the lightweight division. Might I say fight of the night? I say it a lot, right? Because this really does have potential to be fight of the night if these boys come out and swing and do their thing. I guess we'll throw it to Sniper. How do we feel? Am I crazy for saying it could be a fight of the night?
So I can see why you say that, right?
Right.
But there's too many other fights on this card for that to be the first one that you think is fight of the night.
Dan Hooker is coming out to 50 cents fucking many men, and you're
Dan
telling me
Hooker,
he's not gonna throw haymakers, bro?
I love Dan Hooker. I love Dan Hooker because I'm a big city kickboxing guy. Big city kickboxing guy. I love that whole camp. Just what they're about. I love it.
Right.
And I was always a fan of Dan Hooker. Before I get to my personal opinions, let's state the facts. Right.
State them.
The dude in the last 10 fights, he's 5-5 in the UFC. Let me see here. He has 11 knockouts and 7 submissions in his professional career, but he's been finished 6 times, 3 by knockout, 3 by submission. Most of those were in the losses that happened in the last 10. So with that being said, love the guy and all. I'm just scared if Dan Hooker has it anymore. You know what I mean? And I say that very sparingly because I don't want it to be true. I want the Hangman to come out and start, doing Hangman things. But from what I've seen as of late, it's just I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It seems like he can't keep up with these young, strapping young men. Like this isn't. We're not getting the same Dan Hooker that went to war with Dustin Poirier, in my opinion. You know what I mean? This is
there's definitely a young buck who's ready to step in. Ibrahim, what do you think?
Who's ready to go?
I'm a city kickboxing fan to die, man. Right? So it's hard. I love Dan Hooker, but I'm almost at a point with him where it's what level of competition can he go to, right? So it's like you see him fight and you see him look good against guys, and then you see him fight top level guys and he's getting finished. So this is hard for me, right? Dan Hooker's an app.
Hold on. Can't hear you.
I got a phone call.
Okay. This guy, man. Come on. What are you talking about, man?
I'm a busy guy, right? So listen.
This fucking guy.
Listen, Dan Hooker's a dog. I don't think he gets it done though. I can't see him winning. Is it gonna be a fight of the night? Absolutely fucking not. There's too many fights on this card.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I was saying.
I'm thinking that they're gonna stand in there and trade off, bro.
Robbie fight is gonna be a better fight than this fight.
Right? So it's funny that you say that because
I can't wait to roll the tapes back, and when it is fight of the night, I can't wait.
Listen, man. Listen, I hope you're right. I hope you're right because if that's fight of the night, then that just says what the fuck is gonna happen with all the rest of the fights. That means that I'm not gonna be able to breathe.
I might have got ahead of myself a little bit, but I'm eager to see how these boys trade off in the octagon. That's all I'm saying.
So here's the thing with Jalen Turner though. The man has, he lost his last fight against Mateus Gamrot in a split decision, right? And some say it was very controversial. Some would say that Jalen won that fight. But regardless of that, he got the L, right? Unfortunately. But before that, he was on a five fight winning streak. And all 5 of those fights, he's finished within 2 rounds. Whether it's by knockout, whether it's by submission. The dude, he's been knocked out 3 times. I don't think he has to worry about that in the opponent that he got, right? Like Jake was saying, it's the level of competition that Dan Hooker is portraying he can handle. And this is just one of those up and coming guys who's hungry, who wants it. You know what I mean? And Jalen Turner, first of all, dude throws bombs. He hits dummy hard, bro. And if Michael Chandler could fucking snooze boy, I think Jalen Turner is snoozing boy. You know what I mean? So with that being said, Jalen Turner also has 100% finishing rate. He's finished all his wins. He's finished.
So
9 out of 14 knockouts, 4 by submission. Say it again.
So he's got 14 wins. All of those are finishes.
13 wins. 13 wins. 9 by knockout, 4 by submission.
UFC has to fix their fucking website. They're making me look crazy. 14-6, man.
That just goes to show that they know something we don't. You know what I mean? This upcoming about to make it 14.
Listen, every fight I watch of Dan Hooker's, right? I have these high expectations, city kickboxing, you know what I mean? And then after every fight, I feel like he becomes more of a gatekeeper, right? And it kills me to say that because he's fighting dogs, right? It's not like he's not fighting average guys. He's fighting absolute dogs. Like these guys are, if they're not already established, they're making their way up, and they're making their way up quickly. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, you beat Dan Hooker, like you're entering top 5. You're gonna fight someone that is gonna get you closer to that title shot. You know what I mean? Stylistically, it's a great fight.
Well, the way you guys are making it seem like it's like if Jalen Turner is the number 11th ranked fighter and Dan Hooker is the number 12th fighter, how far does Jalen really move up? Dan Hooker is really not this big of a test.
He moves up. He moves up a good amount because what is this? What division is it?
The lightweight division.
Lightweight. He definitely gets if he beats Dan Hooker, I believe he gets a top 7, top 6 ranked opponent.
Okay.
Jalen Turner.
All right. Your official predictions. I think you guys already said it, but let me just re-ask it. Who do we have?
Yeah, I got Turner, dog.
Turner and
to sprinkle him by knockout.
I know Turner is gonna win. I believe he is, and I can see him finishing the fight for sure.
All right. So there it is. That's your quick little recap or breakdown. Jalen Turner, Dan Hooker, UFC 290 International Fight Week. Go ahead.
I love you, Dan.
Listen, man. Any guy who comes out to 50 cents, many, he's got my respect. We'll see how he does this weekend. We got a bunch more to break down. Inside the Right Hook Pod. Let's go. It's the Right Hook Pod, man. Welcome back. We're in the middle of the card right now. If you're just joining us, you might want to rewind it a little bit. We're breaking it down, man. It's going to be, okay, I'm saying it right now. I said it last fight. I probably should have said it for this one. Fight of the night, Robert Whittaker, Dricus du Plessis. Listen, I got to get it right one of these times. It's a middleweight banger. This one, when I sit here and I tell you guys, I don't know what to do on this fight. I don't. Because Dricus is easily a guy who you're counted out and he's down and he comes and just fucking lays Robert Whittaker. And he might do that. And Robert Whittaker, then you think about it, and I don't think he could because Robert Whittaker is also that dog who's going to slump him. But don't count Dricus out because that shit is possible. Whether you boys want to team up on me or not, Dricus is a dog and he could get it done. We'll start with you, Jake. How do you feel about this fight? Who do you like? And clearly we're on Robert Whittaker's wave here, so let's hear about it.
Okay, so this is a hard one for me, right? And a lot of them are, but this one's different because I almost wore a different shirt, right? And my other shirt says something that says Broken Native on it, right? So I was thinking about the future of the division, and I want Dricus to win. I want him to win, right? Because I want fresh blood. But Bobby Knuckles is by far still one of the best fighters in the UFC, unarguably. I mean, no one's beat this guy. No one beats this guy, right? He hasn't finished someone since like 2017, though. He's been kind of like just getting through fights. A lot of 3-rounders now too. But also Dricus is one of those guys like he wins. He knows how to win fights. Is it pretty? No, right? But he wins. How does he do it?
Who fucking knows?
God knows. Right?
It's like last minute type shit where he comes out of nowhere and just gets
only God knows. But you against Bobby Knuckles like that, like Bobby Knuckles is gonna drag him in the deep end. You know what I mean? If this was a 5-on fight, like I'd say unarguably Bobby Knuckles is gonna dominate him, right? But it's a 3-round fight. They're gonna have a lot of energy, especially in those first 2 rounds. You know what I mean? And Bobby Knuckles can get caught, but do I see him getting caught? Probably not. His range, his distance, especially his ability to wrestle. I think he's gonna kind of put it together. Unfortunately, I think Bobby Knuckles takes this home, but I pray that Dricus wins this fight. And I got a little something to sprinkle on too. I learned earlier is Dricus and Israel Adesanya actually sparred before.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so which is
beef though. Don't they have a little bit of a?
which is
Izzy and Dricus? Doesn't he want to fight Dricus?
well, he does, yeah, because it's new blood. But I learned this when Izzy was fighting in China. He was training at Tiger in Thailand, Tiger Muay Thai, and he was there and they rolled around a little bit and they sparred. And from what Izzy kind of hinted at was he's kind of got his number, I think. So I kind of want to see that. I mean, I need new blood. You know what I mean? That's a little backstory to feed into it. I'm sure, like, if he does win, I'm sure the UFC will bring that up and everyone will hear about it and stuff like that. But I need something new. I mean, who wants to watch Israel Adesanya fight Bobby Knuckles again? Will it be a great fight? Probably will. You know what I mean? But no one wants to see it.
Yeah, well, that is Robert Whittaker's only 2 losses. His 2 losses are to Izzy. So yeah. So go ahead, Sniper. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like, I wholeheartedly agree. So let me word it like this, right? How it would be nice to watch Stylebender knock this kid's block off. I don't want him to win strictly because I'm not a fan of the guy, right? But that's my personal opinion. He's weird to me, but whatever. Let's get into the facts. The dude is on a 7-fight winning streak. Like he's eating. And to roll back something you said earlier, Jake, how does he do it? Who fucking knows? But I believe one thing that adds on to his ability to win is his gas tank. That man could look gassed all fight, and he's still throwing pressure. He's still throwing pressure at his opponent. So it could be mind games. You know, act like you're gassed, or he really is gassed, and he just has that grit to be like, nah, fuck that. I'm throwing the same amount of pressure all fight. And that's what happened his last couple fights. He's fighting these dudes, and you know they're kind of tagging him. They're kind of sending some shots his way, and he's taking them, and he looks tired. But after the second round, he's still throwing that same pressure. The other fighter's like, "What the fuck is this, bro?" And ends up getting finished, unfortunately. He's 5-0 in the UFC, and he's going up against a guy who also has a very big gas tank and is not going to be deterred by him constantly getting pressure thrown at him because, like Jake said, he knows how to use his range very well. He's a very hoppy boxer. You know what I mean? He even fights with his hands down here because he knows it's not gonna be easy for you to hit him because he's just hopping back think on some.
Well, Eric Brunson took advantage of that last fight. He's piecing him up a little bit though.
Yeah, but the thing is, he can definitely take a hit. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's going to be worried too much about the power of Dricus because he knows he can take a hit. He has 10 knockouts and 5 submissions in his professional career, and he hasn't lost to anybody not named Adesanya in the last 9 years.
Yeah, I couldn't find him. It's a while ago.
You know what I'm saying? 2013, I think his last loss to anybody not named Adesanya. So he's like up there. The only man who could beat me is Izzy. He's winning.
The last time he lost was back in 2014, and it was UFC 170, and it was against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Yeah. So another rangy fighter. You know what I mean? And this was when Robert was getting his wits about him, getting his legs underneath him, and he probably got. I didn't watch the fight. It's fucking 2014. But I can assume that he got caught. He got caught with the Angel Wonder Boy, and ever since then, dude said, "Yeah, fuck that. I'm gonna do the same shit. I'm gonna use my range against fighters. I'm gonna use my wrestling. I'm gonna use my grappling." So, and he's solid in all departments, bro. He can strike with you. He can grapple with you. He can wrestle with you. He can keep pressure up too. So, with that being said, Jerkins don't got shit for the guy, man. But as far as like what I'm surefire and locking in, it's going the distance. Both of these fighters are tough. They're tough as hell. Dricus hasn't been finished, I don't think.
Yeah, he's been tapped out one time and knocked out one time.
Oh, has he? Okay. But that was very, very long ago.
Very long ago.
Yeah, very long ago. So he probably built up a chin, and as far as his wrestling goes, he has decent wrestling too. I just feel like it's gonna be, feel each other out match and then pressure fight throughout the entirety of the match. So I think it definitely goes the distance, honestly.
The last time Drakus lost was 2018 in another promotion, and he lost via knockout in the third round. So if that gives you any kind of safe mind, he definitely is a dog, and he's only went to the distance one time. Other than that, so in his career, anyways. So all right, Drakus du Plessis, Robert Whitaker. It's all going down UFC 290 International Fight Week. That's going to be a good one. Jake, one time for you, your official prediction on that?
Bobby Knuckles is gonna take it home.
Any rounds? Are we both of you guys? Do you think it goes distance or?
Bobby Knuckles by decision.
Okay. All right.
So
there it is.
I am going to sprinkle something though. Double chance, knockout or points.
Ooh, there it is. There you have it. Right here on the Right Hand Pod. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's the Right Hook Pod, man. Thank you so much for being here with us on a special occasion. I feel like this is one of the events where you wake up and you just feel how fucking awesome it's going to be. UFC 290, International Fight Week, Alexander Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez, and fellas, we make our way to the co-main event, which happens to be a title fight in the flyweight division. It's our boy Brandon Moreno, Alexandre Pantoja. Whoo! I heard from the grapevine that Sniper doesn't know what to do on this fight. So we'll start him off there. Sniper, how do we feel about the champion Brandon Moreno and his op Alexandra Pantoja?
So there's a big fucking reason why I don't know what to do, what to pick, what to predict for this fight. Both of these fighters are just demons. Fucking demons, bro. We all love Brandon Moreno, right? We all know about the psychotic quadrilogy of between him and Davison Figueiredo.
Well, I'm glad that's over.
Everybody's glad that's over. You know what I mean? That was holding up the flyweight division a bit too long. Right. And don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Davison, but it was time. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's definitely time. And Moreno's only loss in his last 10 fights was for Figueiredo. Right. He had a draw against him, and he had a draw against Askar Askarov. But other than that, he's won between the last 10 fights. He's won every one of them. He's on a 2-fight winning streak, both of them by TKO. He dismantled Figueiredo's left eye, and then he exploded Kai Kara Francis' spleen into smithereens. So that just goes to show how much power he has, and he's fighting. He's fighting. My boy got the, you know what I mean, the weird what's the name, and he's coming to punch you square in your fucking mouth. He got 5 knockouts and 11 submissions in his professional career. However, this dude Pantoja is, some would say, Moreno's kryptonite, right? He beat.
It's either Alex Pereira to Izzy.
Yeah, so he beat Moreno in the Ultimate Fighter, and I believe. Now, I don't think Pantoja became the Ultimate Fighter, but like after that fight, but he definitely eliminated Moreno from being the Ultimate Fighter, so knocked him off of that, and then they fought in the UFC where Pantoja won by unanimous decision, and then the UFC cut him after that fight. He had to go back to the LFA and then win a fight there to then come fight Askar Askarov, and then he got a draw there. But he had to fight his way back into the UFC because of that loss to Pantoja. And now here comes Pantoja trying to take his belt. So there's definitely like a storyline. There's definitely a rivalry between the two. I like to think of this as like Goku and Vegeta. You know what I mean? And I'm scared to see what's up because I do want Moreno to win because that's my guy. But you can't count Pantoja out, right? He's never been finished in his professional career. He has 8 knockouts with 10 submissions, and he's 9-3 in the UFC with a 3-fight winning streak. So he wants this, and he's fighting up against a guy that he knows. I don't want to say knows he can beat because they're both different fighters at this stage in their careers, but he's beaten him twice.
Right.
Right. So that's a mental advantage that you have over your opponent, knowing that you beat him twice already. But don't think Moreno is gonna let that phase him. He doesn't let stuff like that phase him. So this is going to be a banger.
Now, before we get to predictions or anything, do you feel, and this goes for both of you, do you feel that Pantoja's training at American Top Team has any, because obviously them boys are breeded there at American Top Team. Does this have any advantage for Pantoja against Moreno?
Jake, what you think?
I mean, American Top Team is American Top Team. I mean, there's studs in there. Don't get me wrong. Every day you're training.
Every day,
Every day you're training with the best fighters in the world, unarguably. But listen, Sniper, settle down. All right? Settle down over there, bum. All right?
I'm dead.
Listen, you're forgetting about a dude from Mexico that beats the piss out of people for fun. All right? Listen, he lost his last 2 fights against him. Right? But that was a long time ago. That was before Moreno came back and became the champion. Right? Unarguably, not the same fighter as he was before.
100% agree with that.
I think that Pantoja might even be too confident coming in this fight. I just hear him talking in interviews and stuff, and he sounds like almost like I already won kind of. And I hope he don't think like that. I know he's not training like that, right? He's a professional fighter. He's training going there and beat Brandon Moreno, right? But at the end of the day, this dude does not stop, right? His pressure and from what just his style alone from what it was is so much more complete. I mean, he can do anything. I just see his jab in this fight really affecting it. Just those straight punches. I don't see a way, unless he gets knocked out. Unless Brandon Moreno gets knocked out, which of course can happen anytime, right? This is UFC. People get knocked out every single card, right? But unless he gets knocked out, I don't see Brandon Moreno losing. I think it's still, and I think that Brandon Moreno will actually finish him. I think if it goes into the 4th and 5th round, I think Brandon Moreno is going to come home with a finish. I think it's been a little bit, he's been a little some new blood, right? And I think that now it's just I think Brandon Moreno is just going to take off. I think he's going to finish him probably 4th, 5th round, early 5th round. I really don't think it goes further than that. I think the pressure alone. Listen, this dude is from Mexico. He don't get tired. He's gonna box this dude's face off for 25 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Right?
What do you think about Pantoja's gas tank? Do you think he's got it in him to do a 5 round?
Brazil. He's gonna throw looping punches like he does in all of his fights. He's gonna try to get his back. It's gonna be hard, right? So it's just if you watch his style, the dude's a dog. Don't get me wrong, right? He throws a lot of looping punches, right? Extreme power. Extreme power in his hands, but he throws a lot of looping punches. When he's grappling, really, only thing he tries to do is get your back. His grappling isn't insane. If he gets your neck, he gets Brandon Moreno's neck. It's probably over. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But his tools, if you look at his tools and you look at Brandon Moreno's tools now, it's not even close. So a lot of people are getting hung up on the 2 losses. I'm not. Brandon Moreno is an absolute stud, and I think he's gonna finish him in the 4th or 5th round.
So it's piggybacking off of what you were saying, thinking about it further. Yeah, man. The growth of Moreno was just so crazy to watch, and how fast he got this good, right? And with that being said, you might have something there, bro. Maybe Pantoja, and I don't think Pantoja ever been in a 5 rounder. So that's definitely gonna that's gonna play a big factor if it gets into the championship rounds.
Yeah,
I
let me take a look. Let me
his
take a
fight
look to
style.
see if he has fought in any 5-round fights. So let's see. Let's see. I'm just
His
going through it.
style is so explosive that I
Yeah.
just feel like it can't maintain. I don't think his fighting style can maintain through 5 rounds. And if it can, I don't think he's learned how to make it maintain through 5 rounds yet.
Word.
He
Okay.
hasn't fought in a 5-rounder ever, and he has a ton of first-round finishes. So that
Okay.
just goes. I don't think he really
He's
has
definitely
that.
not finishing Moreno in the first round, though. That's
No,
not happening.
of course not.
They're both fresh out the gate.
I don't think he's what.
So they're both fresh out the gate, and Moreno's defending his title that he holds near and dear to him like his kid. So he's not letting it go first round. Definitely not happening. With that being said, I do believe, right? Whatever. So FanDuel is not my friend this week, right? They're not putting up any props. I can't check any odds. I can't check my options. I can't weigh them out, and they're pissing me clean the fuck off. But it is what it is. You gotta move on and adjust, right? So whatever the round line is, if it's not 4.5, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
If it's anything less than 4.5, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Taking the over.
Yeah.
You're not finishing Brandon Moreno in 3 rounds.
Yeah, not happening.
If you do, it's pure luck. I mean, you can't. We're betting money here, right? So whenever you're betting money and you're going against odds, there's always luck involved, right? So this is the UFC. They train for this shit, but there's always pure luck. And listen, unless he gets hit with something pure out of this world, like Kamal Usman getting kicked in the face,
Right.
it has to be something like that. Like
Right.
if he gets hit like that, there's no way that this shit don't go. It's gonna go past 3 rounds, 100%.
Well, we'll have to take a close look at it. Go ahead, Snipe.
Little angel dust, little pixie dust. I'm with Jake here, and then by knockout. I might even so I was thinking of taking it to end by knockout, but I might even go as far as to sprinkle Moreno by knockout.
Yeah.
All right. There you have it. We'll keep close eye on that as the co-main event rolls through UFC 290. Volkanovski Rodriguez International Fight Week. We're breaking down the main event. Coming up next, hang tight. Fellas, we're back. It's the Right Hook Pod. We're here. It's the main event. My dog, Alexander Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez. And let me just start off by saying this, right? I'm going to give my little bold take off. Alexander Volkanovski does not lose this fight. He does not lose this fight. I don't care what anybody says. It's a motherfucking dog, so I have to clear that. That's going to be – I wish I could make it my lock of the night, but he's like minus 400, bro. It's not worth it to me. But he's not losing. Sniper, you said in group chat that you were not touching this fight. You really think
Pussy.
Yair has any?
Call me what you want. Don't call me my sidekick.
Listen, you think Yair has a chance, bro? Come on, let's
Yes.
be real.
Yes.
Now, before you say anything, Hebrew, does Yair have a chance? Yes or no?
Absolutely fucking not.
Okay, thank you, Sniper. Why does he have a chance, bro? Because there's no fucking way. You watch him go against Islam, and he should have won that fight, or damn near. It was close enough to you could either pick or choose. Yair has anything on Islam? Crazy.
So let me break down why.
Put him on the spot, man.
Let me break down why I'm saying what I'm saying right now. Don't get me wrong. If I gun to head said, "Yo, you have to put $100 on a money line right here, right now, or your head's getting blown off, and I'm murdering your firstborn child," Volkanovski. I'm putting my money on Volkanovski. The reason why I'm not putting my money nowhere near this fight, or at least money lines, is because Yair Rodriguez has that what the fuck factor, right? He has that come out of fucking nowhere, hit you or catch you with something. Who knows what it's going to be? It could be a fucking flying triangle for all I know. And you know what I mean?
It fucks up everything for you. I get what you're
Not
saying, but
and it is the UFC. Anything could happen. And actually today, while I was at work, I was scrolling through some, you know what I mean, scrolling through some pages, scrolling through some articles, and this fucking absolute psycho has been training at 10,000 feet above sea level.
I saw that.
That's wild, bro. That's fucking wild to be training on top of, like, I think is ancient Aztec ruins.
yeah, but
Up
you
that
have
high
to
in the
know.
fucking sky.
You better step up your cardio when you go against Volk because he don't stop.
No, he definitely doesn't. And the reason why, if I absolutely had to put money on Volkanovski, is because I am never counting that motherfucker out in my fucking life. I'm saying Yair has a chance, not that he's going to win.
Right.
10,000, 20,000, 30,000. Who gives a fuck?
Here we fucking go, kid. Volkanovski.
Listen, if you put $100 on Volk, it's only $25. By the way, just
it's a steak dinner at Charlie's. What are you talking about? So here's the thing, right? We all saw that Ortega fight. And that was the day I said never in my fucking life will I bet against Volkanovski. Ever. Never doing it. It just can't happen. I don't have the funds for it. I have rent to pay. And for me, it's astonishing to see how much he evolves after every single fight. First of all, Chan Sung Jung, TKZ, my guy, you had no fucking business being in that octagon with the boy. He had no business being there. I love that he got the shot at the title. I loved it.
I put a lot of money on it, and I'm tight.
he had absolutely no business being there. Volkanovski just showed that there's levels. He whooped his ass like he owed him money, and it was very, very disappointing to see, but it wasn't surprising to see, right? Before Volkanovski lost to Islam, very controversially, the world would say, he was on a 22 fight win streak, right? 22. That's a wild streak to go on. Fucking absolute crazy streak to go on. He's defended the featherweight belt 5 times, and he hasn't lost in his division in 10 years. He's Ultra Instinct Goku of the UFC, bro. He's a phenomenon. And I feel like I'm dick riding a little bit, but I low key am telling the truth, bro. If y'all watch this man fight, it's different breed. And he's going up against a killer though. Yair Rodriguez, man. His last loss out of the last 6 fights was to Holloway. And y'all saw that fight. It was a barn burner. And he held up against one of the greatest strikers in UFC history. You know what I mean? So
rounds for the first 2 rounds he did.
Yeah. But regardless, I say that to say that he does have that dog in him, right? And he's 10-2 in the UFC with 1 no contest. He has 6 knockouts and 4 submissions, but he also been knocked out or TKO'd twice. He's a very dynamic fighter. The way he uses his range, the way he uses his kicks, he'll throw what did he knock TKZ out with in the last second of the 3rd or 5th round, whatever the hell he hit him with one of them ones. Bro, who does that? Who does that, bro? You have to be a different type of character to be
throwing that shit, man.
To be throwing shit like that. And I feel the reason why I say that Yair has a chance is because I feel like that's the only way Volk can lose is if you catch him with some, like hello. Like,
he couldn't. He does not make mistakes. That's the thing.
He's very calculated. He is a fucking abacus in that octagon, bro.
Before you go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's anything can fucking happen, and Yair has the skill set and has the tools available in his repertoire to shock the world. And I'm just saying that.
That's going to be a quote. It's going up on the Right Hook Pod on Instagram.
He has the tools to shock the world.
All right, before you predict any fight, before you predict anything, Jake, how do you feel about this? and to combat against snipers. Chances with Yair, I don't think you think he's has any chance at all.
Does sniper even know what the fuck he's talking about?
He does more than me.
Guy comes on,
Here we fucking
he
go.
dick rides Volkanovski for fucking the last 2 minutes, and then tells us that he's gonna lose. He can't put money on the fight. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here? We're talking about the.
I'm trying to win money, Jake. I'm trying to win money, not
We're-
fucking lose it or some.
Hope is where you win the money.
best fighter in the UFC.
Number
I don't care. Listen, the rankings are shot, but I'll tell you one thing: they got it right when they put him at number 1. Stylistically, though, I want to break this down a little bit stylistically, right? Because I've been thinking about this fight. Because Yair's a dog, and I honestly think that this is gonna be the hardest fight he's had at 145 in a really long time. Maybe since he fought Max Holloway the first time. But with that being said, the one thing that Yair has that no one can ever stop is his feet. This dude can throw kicks from fucking anywhere, right? But the one thing that Volk can do is manage distance better than maybe every single person in the UFC. Take away Israel Adesanya, right? So I just feel like, yes, Yair is an absolute dog. He has to fight for the title, right? But matchup-wise, it's like this is like I feel like it's a perfect matchup for Volk. I really do. Like, he's not gonna land the big kicks and stuff that he lands on everyone else on Volk. He's shorter. His guard is extreme. His guard is amazing, and the way he manages distance is just fucking incredible. I mean, the one thing that Volk uses in every single fight that people just basically look over is leg kicks. Like, he's gonna beat up his legs, right? And when I say Yair's chance to win every single fight starts with his feet, right? It also usually ends with some kind of kick to the body or something. It's always like something. If he finishes something with his hands, it's probably because he kicked them before that. Like, realistically, right? So, with that being said, I don't see him landing them big kicks on Volk. I really don't. When it gets into the 4th and 5th round, Volk is out. Has Volk ever lost the 4th and 5th round? Like, I don't even fucking know. Once it gets into that deeper rounds, it's just gonna be worse. If you look at when Yair fought Max Holloway, I could see maybe something like that happening where he starts off strong and he is so awkward that you can't really find the timing that you would like and stuff like that. I don't see Volk having the same problem that Max Holloway had, honestly. He has the pressure that this dude puts on people is just incredible. And sprinkle a little something on there for you, right? We got to get one back for City Kickboxing, right? Because I don't know if you all remember, but Yair put a little beating on our boy Hangman, you know what I mean, a couple years back. So we're going to get that one back. You know what I mean? We'll bring it back to City Kickboxing, bring that belt home. And like I said before, and still. It's going to be an and still night. Like, I can feel it.
So
go to the bank.
You got to go to the bank on that, you're saying?
Go to the bank, get the money out, right? You know where to put it. You know where to put it.
Listen,
right? Number 1, baby.
First of all,
I'm not touching it.
Always gamble responsibly, okay? Make sure Ibrahim knows you got to gamble responsibly. We're not liable for anything. Quick question, fellas. Does Yair try to take Volk down at all? Does he try to go for it? Is it a smart idea to? I don't know. Because when I think about it, it's like, okay, you're not going to tire him out. You're going to tire yourself out.
I don't think he goes to try to bring it to the ground. I think he stands up with Volk. If it happens somehow, some way, like let's say Volk drops Yair, he's gonna pull guard. But Volk is definitely smart enough to be like, nah, get up. We're gonna keep this on the feet. If it gets to the ground somehow, some way, Yair is definitely gonna try and keep it on the ground for as long as he can. I feel.
Do you think Yair's ground game is better than Alex's?
I don't think it's better, but I think as far as like his confidence in it, I feel
I can see Alex bringing this fight to the ground. Not at first. First 2 rounds are gonna be standing.
In this 4th and 5th, and he starts to like
fourth and 5th, when he starts wearing them down, I could see Yair backing up against the cage. I can see Volk kind of putting the pressure on him a little bit, and then possibly taking him down, put some ground pound on him. And I want after Volk lost that fight. Like, when was the last time you really like? All right, so.
Well, go ahead. What's your question? When's the last time? What?
Like, the last time he had something to prove was probably what, after he lost, or I mean, he won, but he won against Max, but everyone was like, "Oh, you lost," right? And he was like, "I'm gonna show you that I could beat this guy, and I'm gonna show you that I could beat him, damn easily, right?" So that was the last time, right? And then like you look at the last fight, it's like, did he have something to prove? Of course, but no one expected him to win.
Nobody expected him to go 5 rounds with Islam, nonetheless.
Yeah, it's a little different. Where like this is one of those fights where it's just like he wants to go out like Volk is gonna go out there and finish Yair. He's gonna finish him. What round? I don't know, because Volk could finish him.
Sniper's like, what do you think? What do you think? You think he can finish him or what?
It's possible. It's possible. Oh, and it, bro, like I just don't know, man. I've seen so much shit as to where like I'm confident. I'm so confident this is gonna happen because I know the level of fighter that this guy is. And then I just end up being absolutely fucking wrong, and I hate my life, bro. So this is why I'm tiptoeing around this topic, because I know the level of fighter both of these fighters are, and I know how great Alexander is. But what I feel is happening here is the underestimating of Yair, right? And I don't want to do that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Let me just be that guy. If you weren't on a podcast right now and your reputation wasn't on the line, Volk, come on. What's your take?
Listen. I already told you, bro. Gun to head, had to pick somebody to win, not even put money on. If I had to pick someone to win, I'm picking Volkanovski. Because I said this before earlier on my rant. I'm not betting against the dude. I'm not going against the guy.
Right.
I just feel personally, and from the things that I've seen from Yair, that he has the capability of, doing some fucking shit.
Okay.
And that's all I'm saying about it.
You would bet the Oja Moreno fight before you bet this fight?
Yes.
That doesn't even make sense.
It does to me, because
tough one. I don't get that. I don't know. No, I don't know. It's tough.
What do you mean? Like, so, cause listen, I get what you guys are saying. Like, it's the caliber of fighters, right? And pretty similar caliber of fighters, but I'm talking like matchup wise, right? Stylistically, the fights are different, and there's a lot that goes into each fight that you have to consider. And while considering it, I'm definitely more comfortable betting the Moreno Pantoja fight as opposed to the main event. And main events always spook the fuck out of me anyways, bro.
Oh, I'm going to play straight on this. I'm going to play devil's advocate. You're comfortable with, and I'm not being a dickhead. I'm just playing devil's advocate. You're more comfortable with betting on Brandon Moreno versus Pantoja, a guy who beat Moreno twice.
Yes.
You're more comfortable with that.
Yes.
Than going against the arguable pound-for-pound fighter in the world against Yair Rodriguez, who was an interim champion.
Amanda Nunes was the fucking women's featherweight GOAT, is the women's featherweight GOAT, and got finished by Joe Schmo's fucking scrub, Juliana Pena. What are you talking about?
I'm here to get content.
Anything can happen, bro. Anything can happen, and knowing the ability and the tools and and just the combat skills that Yair has, it can happen. It can. and I'm dying on this fucking hill. Fuck you both. You alright?
It can happen. All right, that don't mean it's gonna.
That don't mean it's gonna. You're right, but it can.
All right, Jake,
And
your
that-
official prediction before we go to free swim.
Shit.
The pound for pound GOAT.
When does he win? How does he win? What round does he win, Jake?
The pound for pound GOAT is gonna finish Yair Rodriguez in probably the 4th round, but I can see Alex winning at any time during this entire fight.
Sniper?
All right. Well,
No, I'm not gonna force you, but I'm just saying. How about this? Does it go the distance or no? I won't make you predict anything. I won't make you pick. But does it go the distance? Yes or no?
No.
You have it. That's our full breakdown. UFC 290. Hang tight. We're gonna dive into a little bit of free swim, but things get a little heated up right here on the Right Hook Pod. Hang tight. Be right back. What's going on? It's the Right Hook Pod. We had to calm down a little bit. We had to cool down for a second. And we're going to jump into free swim. So we're not going to really go too much into the prelims because who gives a fuck? But this prelim action, though, is pretty fire. I'm not going to lie. And so we'll start it off with Jack Della. How the hell do you say his last name? What is it?
Jack Della Maddalena.
He said it. Versus Sean Brady. It's the Aussie versus the Philadelphia-born. I guess we'll start off with Jake. How do you feel? Your hand is raised. You're excited. I mean, the Aussie's coming out and swinging. I know that.
I don't know how to pronounce this fucking dude's name.
Jack Della Maddalena?
Yep.
Whatever you just said, fine. But he's a dog.
He is
super dog. Super.
Did you guys see all the Aussies post up in front of the Vegas sign, bro? And I'm looking at, and they're all just fucking savages, bro. I love it.
I can see, and I'm serious. I'm not gonna throw out picks to bet on or nothing like that. I just make fun of this guy every once in a while. But this dude, I can see this guy winning by knockout. Like if I'm looking at the card, like this is just one of those fights where I'm like, I don't see him not winning by knockout. Like this dude's a dog. Sean Brady. You know what I mean? He can do a little bit of everything. His wrestling is good. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy. But I don't see him getting past this fight.
All right, so quick little early. How about you, Snipe? How do you feel about Jack Della Maddalena versus Sean Brady? Do we feel like it's going to be a banger, or do you think it's going to be a quick one?
It might be a fucking quick one, kid. If it doesn't end round 1, it ends round 2, and I'm with Jake on this by knockout, 100%. It's funny. I just looked it up. He had 100% finishing rate.
Yeah.
11 knockouts and 2 submissions. And his last submission his last submission was his last fight against Randy Brown in the first round.
Right.
And then his last one before that was in 2017.
Right.
Outside of the UFC, I'm pretty sure it's Cage Warriors. And yeah, bro, he just wants to knock people out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yeah, I've been a fan. I've been a fan of this guy since he came into the UFC. I remember who the fuck is this guy?
I'm curious what your opinion is on Aussie fighters. Do you feel like Aussie is now? Do you feel like they're in the now?
Yeah.
I think while I don't know what's going on here with Jake's you okay there, bud? Well,
handling some business, but
we'll let him take care of that. But do you feel like the Aussie fighters are up next? I feel like we went through a little like the African, like from Nigeria, like that wave with Ngannou and Usman. How do we feel about the Aussie boys now?
It's tough to say. They definitely got some heaters coming out though, coming out from down under, and it seems like they're trying to make a name for themselves. But just this guy in particular, he's coming swinging. He's trying to get a check every single time he fights.
It's going to be a banger in the welterweight. Jack Della Maddalena looks to go 15-2, and he's taking again. Let's not underestimate Sean Brady. 15-1 for a reason. The This guy's lighting up the cigar. You gotta love it. It's the Right Hook Pod where this shit only happens here. Real quick before we head off, we got the featured prelim of the night, Robbie Lawler, and he's going up against Nico Price. I guess we'll start off with Cigar Boy. How do we feel about Robbie Lawler? And potentially could be his last fight. I don't know, man. How much longer is he gonna keep going?
So definitely the retirement fight. All right. So I'm glad that this was brought up. I thought that Bo Nichols fight should have been pushed to the prelims and bring Robbie. I mean, dude, what this guy's done for the UFC,
right?
To not have him on the main card for his last fight is like, this is one of those moments where you'll see Dana White probably at the post press conference. Like, if someone asks, it like, okay, I messed up this one.
I fucked up. I should have put him out.
Right, we should. I mean, maybe before you got Tresean Gore against them, you got two up and comers. You want to promote them, right? But now it's like, bro, why the fuck is this card still on? Why is this fight still on the card? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Or even if make it a 6-fight main card.
Right. They definitely
haven't done it before.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree 100%. But I think honestly, man, Nico Price is just. He's like, I hate how he fights.
I didn't expect that.
Like, he's a dog, but I fucking hate how he fights. Like,
the hybrid. It's his name for a reason.
But like, nothing on the fucking TV, right? Like, I don't like. Maybe. I mean, he fought Cowboy when Cowboy was on his way out, and like, what was that, a draw or something? Like,
yeah, it was a no contest overturn.
Yeah, like that shit was stupid. But I don't know. I hate watching him fight. But what I will say is that he does go forward. He does bang, right? And if we're gonna watch Robbie Lawler fight someone that he can actually beat, right? Throw fucking stupid Nico Price in there, right? And let him beat the piss out of him. I hope Robbie Lawler, right? I want to see him one last time be an absolute menace in the octagon. Like, but I don't want it to be fast. Like,
a slow burn.
I want this dude licking like BJ Penn style, like licking the blood off his.
You want blood on the cage before the main card starts, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like I want him, like, yeah, dude. I want blood everywhere, like licking the blood off his gloves. Like, shout out to BJ Penn, you know what I mean? Absolute dog. I mean, I want that old school Robbie Lawler. Like, make me think about when I was a kid watching this shit and the wild shit the UFC used to do. So, if I had to pick somebody. I know I'm jumping ahead of schedule a little bit, but if I had to pick somebody, I'm actually gonna pick Robbie Lawler. Like, Nico Price fights like he doesn't belong in the UFC. Like, let's be honest. Like, this dude, bro. Like, no disrespect, if you see me on the street, like, probably wouldn't fight the dude, right?
They got him. They're respecting him.
But
minus 290.
Also,
minus 295.
Also, if I'm gonna knock out somebody that's might be UFC, it might be Nico Price. Like, I don't know what the fuck.
The Hebrew is it? Or so is it the Hebrew Hammer versus the hybrid?
Thank God, Robbie Lawler, bro, because Robbie Lawler is going there. He's gonna be an absolute fucking menace from the jump.
Nico Price is coming to knock on your door, kid. How you doing? He gonna take a nice little one of these ones.
Yes. What else, man? He's a special guy. No. Minus 295, they have Nico Price. Plus 225 for Robbie Lawler.
I'm not gonna lie, that's good value. That's good value.
Would you put some money on Robbie or what?
I'll sprinkle it straight. I'll sprinkle it straight on Robbie. Throw a little $5 on that. You know what I mean?
So while we're in free swim, I just want you guys' opinions on something real quick, and then we'll head out. So we'll go through the money lines and what FanDuel has them right now. Jack Della Maddalena is minus 1,100. Going up against, I don't even know who he's fighting, Josiah Harrell. I'm not sure. Then we have, let's see here. For the main card, we got Brandon Moreno minus 205 and Alexander Pantoja plus 158. We'll start there. Does that seem about right? Is that good? I like the value on Pantoja there. I like plus 158.
But it ain't going on.
But all right, Alexander Volkanovski minus 400. with Yair at plus 285. Clearly, Vegas is not on D-pipe side, sniper side.
Well, I just want to make something clear. I'm not saying that he's gonna win. I'm saying that he has a chance because y'all just writing him off completely.
Listen, this is what I would say
That's all I'm saying.
is if you're betting out there, right? This seems like the fight to bet on, right? It does. Don't bet on it. Don't. I'm telling you right now. It seems like the fight to bet on. Don't do it. This is like, I mean, it's just hard. Stop thinking about the past, right? If y'all get sucked up in the past, you're going to lose your money, right? Think about what's going on right now. Who's the best in the division, right? Hands down. It's one of those things that they're going to keep the odds tight. They want you to bet on it, right? Don't do it. That's it.
Robert Whitaker minus 400 against Dracus du Plessis at plus 285. And to wrap it up, Jalen Turner minus 245 to Dan Hooker's plus 186. So no matter way you look at it, this card, they have their agenda, and I think it's a heavy favorite, but there's got to be somebody who comes out victorious on the underdog side. So I guess I'll ask you that, and we'll end it right there. Who do you feel on this card as an underdog? And I'll go through it again. You got Pantoja, you got Rodriguez, you got Dan Hooker, and you got Woodman. You can pick one. Who upsets the card?
I'm bringing Ruthless into the main card.
Sure.
Ruthless Robbie Lawler is going to beat the piss out of Nico Price.
I think we might have a vendetta brewing, and I love it. I think we might have to tag with Nico Price a little bit and let him know. Sniper, for you, if you had to go with one.
If I had to go with one, I'm telling Jake.
Robbie Lawler aside. Robbie Lawler.
Yep. No, fuck me.
Robbie Lawler aside. If you had to listen, it doesn't go against anything, but if you
if I had to, okay. All right, so I guess I could take a risk here. Fuck me, bro.
I'm gonna tell you mine. I'll tell you mine.
Let's hear it.
Pantoja. I think Pantoja gets it done. And I don't know. I just have a feeling. I've been watching the embeddeds, man. There's just something about Pantoja's energy that I like, and I just like how cool and calm he is. I don't know. I think he gets it done, but that's just my bold take. I don't nothing.
All right, well, fuck it. I said I was gonna die on the hill. Might as well climb a little higher. Yair Rodriguez. Yup. If I had to pick an underdog to shock the fucking world, I'm picking the Panther.
If it was a shock, right? If we're talking about who has the best puncher's chance, right? Because that's what we're talking about here, right? We're talking about the underdog, right? So who has the best puncher's chance? Yair, for sure. I mean, other than, honestly, and honestly, I can say this, like, other than Alex, he may be the second best fighter on this card. Right? And that's deep. I know Brandon Moreno, I love him, but Yair is a different breed of human, bro. Like, this guy is special in all ways you can be special at. He just happens to be in the wrong division. That's
against a fucking cyborg, bro.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do?
Sniper, real fast. Do we have a lock of the night, or is it just, or are we gonna play that by ear?
So here's the thing, right? And I know that's one of the segments of this podcast that is very, very well awaited. But like I said earlier in the episode, man, FanDuel's on my dick, and they're not showing me what I need to see, and I can't pick the things, like, I can't weigh my options out of the research that I made and the things that I'm thinking about in my head. I can't weigh them out because I can't see any odds because they don't have them up. So for right now, I'll say it's pending, but definitely when they finally decide to, be a sports book and throw the props up, I'm definitely gonna sift through it, and hopefully by the time this episode airs, I will have one. But I should definitely have one. Definitely have one before Saturday, 100%.
If we don't have it posted or whatever, we will have it posted like the day of. If Sniper feels comfortable and he picks something, we'll definitely have it posted well before you're able to make that bet. I will leave you with this, Jake. Since you're new here, and thank you for being here, man. Your insight is incredible. Truthfully, man, it helps us grow. So I appreciate you being on here. If you yourself had to give a pick of the night, I won't say a lot because that's Sniper's thing. But if you had to get a pick of the night, where are you leaning towards?
Man, so let's do it like this. Like, I'm a hammer down. All right.
Mm-hmm.
On my boy Alex. It's got because I can't listen. Special place in my heart for him. So I can't bet against him. I'm not gonna bet for him because I don't. You know what I mean? All my favorite fighters, I don't bet any money towards because
It's a letdown if they do. Unfortunately,
I can't get let down twice in one night.
It's a double whammy. Fact.
I can handle that. You know what I'm saying? So I just leave it alone.
Okay.
But if I had to be picking a night, I definitely have to go with my boy Alex, man. The odds are still pretty close, and I see Alex coming home with it.
You probably won't make much on him, -400. But all right, fellas, thank you for your service. We have a lot to watch on Saturday as International Fight Week takes over the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas with UFC 290. Alexander Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez. Fellas, until next time.
Sir.